All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome back to Above Ground World News. We're reporting from FEMA Region 7, Zone 1. Man, them county assessors, what are they watching us by satellite? You build a doghouse, they're out here the next day measuring it. It's like, man, they want to tax everything. It's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, welcome in. Being attacked from every kind of direction. Look at the Sahara dust layer and how it just blows apart every single hurricane but Dorian. What's up with that? Let me see if I can speed this up. Try to get this running. So it just wiped out that hurricane. It's going to wipe out the one over by the Bajas just here real soon. But it has not busted apart Dorian. And we can see right here, we'll just take it up a day or two. I just had this all loaded. So check this out anyway. It's going to blow apart the hurricane. I forgot the name of the hurricane over there in the west. And we're going to see it just disintegrate from the Sahara dust layer. Probably right as it goes off screen here. Man, what is up with this? All right, well, anyway, it blows that apart. And I wanted to show you something really crazy. We're going to get into mainly what's in the clouds tonight. Now, I'm going to save the radio frequencies and the microwaves once I get the guy that actually worked on Hart on here. But we're taking a look at Dorian right now. We're looking at what layer are we looking at here? We're looking at the water vapor layer. Now, I'm going to add a layer here. I'm going to add the dry air. Look how this thing is wrapped with the Saharan air layer. So why is the dust not making this thing weaker? And look at all the dry air that it is up against. What the hell is going on? Well, we're going to get into what's going on. It's not a normal storm. We can see what the normal hurricanes look like just by looking over in the west. Just looking over in the Pacific. And let me see if I got the thing here. I know I'm kind of off to a slow start. But look at all these storms lined up, man. Look at this. We got Tropical Depression 12. We got Hurricane Juliet. We got Ferdinand, Dorian, Invest 92L. We got Tropical Storm Gabriel. We got Typhoon Ling Ling and Tropical Storm 14. They're all in the same general, height by the equator. But we'll get into all this here in a little bit. I got two little articles we're going to jump in. Just real quick. Just because they're pretty crazy news. 40-hour blizzard batters Antarctica, trapping weather observers inside a shipping container. The blizzard picked up and they decided to hunker down. So the Australian Bureau of Meteorology has been checking in on the Law Dome Summit, an automatic weather station which collects important weather data. The data researchers collect gets ingested into the climate record, so we have a long-term record of what the weather and climate has been doing. You can't go by, when you're looking at these sun cycles and all that, this is just like a blink of an eye. Like, you're not going to get any true readings in a short time span. So, I don't even know what they're doing. Now we have more lightning killing another 220 sheep in Nepal. The lightning has been killer this year. We've seen it killing people on motorcycles. Tons of people are getting blasted by these lightning bolts. Why we got so many lightning bolts? Because there's so much metal particulates up in the sky. There's something in the clouds. This is coming out of the Guardian. Global heating made Hurricane Dorian bigger, wetter, and more deadlier. We know what warm waters fuel hurricanes, and Dorian strengthened by waters well above average temperatures. Nah, they weren't above average temperatures. Now, it was in the Gulf of Mexico. Just more lies to push the climate change crap. But we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get more into the clouds tonight. What the heck is in the clouds? It turns out planes are even worse for the climate than we thought. This come out June 27th of this year. The contrails left by airplanes last only hours, but now so widespread that their warming effect is greater than all the carbon dioxide emitted by airplanes that has accumulated in the atmosphere since the first flight of the Wright brothers. Excuse me. Worse still, this non-CO2 warming effect is set to triple by 2050, according to a study at the Institute of Atmospheric Physics in Germany. Altogether, flying is responsible for around 5% of the global warming. So if the planes are 5%, what do you think the bunker fuels and the ship tracks are? Probably more than that, because they dump a bunch more toxic crap into the air. So let's see here. So the discussions are taking place focus almost entirely on the associated CO2 emissions. That's a problem if the non-CO2 effects are larger than the CO2 ones. The non-CO2 warming is the elephant in the room. All aircraft that burns fuels leave behind a trail of exhaust fumes and soot. At higher altitudes, water vapor often condenses onto soot particles, freezes to form a cirrus cloud. Cirrus clouds are chemtrails. That's what I've been talking about. They could persist for seconds to hours depending on the temperature and humidity. Clouds can have both a cooling and warming effect. They reflect some of the sun's rays back into space, but also some of the heat radiated by Earth's surface on an average. Both thin natural cirrus clouds. There's no such thing as a thin natural cirrus cloud. Now, before we go any farther in this, I want to show you the skies from a farmer in South Carolina. So we jump over here. Let's play this.
I wanted to send you this. Put my damn trash down. I was walking from my combine, going to get my truck, and just happened to look up. I want you to see this shit, which I know you know. Look at that shit there, bro. It honestly looks like they're spraying. It honestly looks like they're spraying some kind of coal ash. Look how white those clouds are. Look at that mess right there. Boy, in a hurry, ain't it? But look at this mess, look. Look at the difference in how white this stuff is, how white these are. Where they're spraying all in here, and look at this stuff here. Hell, it looks like they, look at this shit. Bro, that's got to be some kind of bomb or something. Chemical bomb. Look at it. It actually looks like a real cloud down here, but then you get up about right there and it looks like nothing but just a toxic damn suit. But I wanted to send this to you to show you what they got going on in South Carolina with this mess coming. I've never seen that there, or I've never really paid attention to the point of seeing how, look how dirty that shit looks. All right, bro, later. Hey, Mike, what's up, brother? Just wanted to bring you a quick little video. This is South Carolina this morning. You know that some of those outer bands are just getting to us. Look at this shit. That ain't bad. Look at this. Just line after line after line. But no, they don't. How people can't see this kind of stuff, it is beyond me. These clouds are hauling ass too. But what's crazy, man, this shit always be hauling ass, but the shit they spray don't move. Look. It's actually going, the spray is going that way. This is going that way. I mean, they got it sprayed up too. This way is unreal. Just wanted to send this to show it to you, man. I know you stay real busy, bro. I know that, man. All you do, I don't see how you do all you do. I mean, work a full-time job, run your homestead, trying to fix up stuff like you want. I know all about it, bro.
Thanks for sending that, brother. That's our farmers. They have to deal with this stuff, man. So what is in them clouds? You know, they can call them water vapor and all that stuff, but we have the actual scientific evidence that it's just not water vapor. Here we are at the atmospheric chemistry and physics, possible climatic implications of high altitude black carbon emissions. On account of its strong absorption of solar and terrestrial radiation, black carbon aerosols known to impact large-scale systems such as Asian monsoons and the Himalayan glaciers, in addition to affecting the thermal structure of the lower atmosphere. While most studies focus on the near surface abundance and impacts, our study examines the implications of sharp and confined layers transport model simulations. These elevated BC layers were revealed in the recent SITU measurements using high altitude balloons carried out on March 17, 2010, the 8th of January 2011, the 25th. Our study demonstrates that high-flying aircraft with emissions from the regionally fine-tuned inventory are the most likely cause of these elevated BC layers. Furthermore, we show that such aircraft emitted BC can be transported to upper tropospheric or lower stratospheric heights, aided by the strong monsoonal convection occurring over the region. Hold on, I got a cough here. Sorry, guys. Which is known to overshoot the tropical tropopause, leading to the injection of tropospheric air mass along with its constitute aerosols into the stratosphere. We show observational evidence for such an intrusion of the tropospheric black carbon into the stratosphere over the Indian region using extinction coefficient and particle depolarization ratio data from Calip LiDAR on board the Calypso satellite. We hypothesize that such intrusions of the black carbon into the lower stratosphere and its consequent longer residence time in the stratosphere has significant implications for stratospheric ozone, especially considering that the already reported ozone depleting potential of the black carbon. So here you go for all you shills and people out there that, you know, are trying to attack us. Here's the science right here. You're just stupid. That's what you called us. Is black carbon affecting monsoons? You know, this is coming out of India Today. You're not going to find this kind of stuff in America because they won't talk about it. They want to keep you stupid. So it seems that scientists have zeroed in on the reason behind the erratic monsoons we have been facing off lately. So if you think about it, you know, the monsoons are the same as the hurricanes and the, you know, typhoons, cyclones, basically giant rain bombs, just different areas of the planet. But they're dumping this crap all over the place, all over the planet. We're going to get in, we're going to show you. We just seen one of our farmers in South Carolina, you know, with them dumping these toxic black carbons and, you know, aluminum and barium and strontium and the nanoplastics, polymer fibers and all that crap. So a recent study by climate researchers from multiple institutions in the country has identified black carbon, which is injected by airplanes in significant amount, as responsible for affecting monsoons, depleting the ozone layer, and quickening the glacier melt. This study was conducted by a group of researchers, including from the Indian Institute of Science. This is a part of soot which is formed from the incomplete combustion of fossil fuels, wood, and biomass burning. I mean, this stuff just goes on, man. There's so much evidence that the contrails are not just contrails, they're chemtrails. Airplanes may be affecting the ozone layer. Black carbon heats up atmosphere, says scientists. Airplanes may be ejecting significant amounts of black carbon, a pollutant known to aggravate breathing disorders, upset the monsoon, and quicken the glacier melt, and may be depleting the ozone layer, according to a study by the climate research from multiple institutions in the country. See, it just goes on. And then you add in the radio frequencies, the microwaves. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot to steer a hurricane. But they do it all the time, man. There's a company out of Australia that just steered the atmospheric river over Tasmania to put the wildfires out. In fact, we'll play just a little clip of that right now. I know a lot of you guys have heard this guy and don't like to listen to it, but there's more new people here, so let's just play a quick little section of this.
We're not using chemicals fired through rockets like other technologies use. We use a very gentle but powerful technology, launching electromagnetics into the atmosphere to modify the flow of the weather system over the ocean and drawing it into a target. So to try and keep it simple, we establish some kind of link with a weather system, and once we've seen through satellite meteorology that we have that link, we're able to draw that system in incrementally towards the target, such as in this case the Horn of Africa.
Mahendra, you call this project the Global Rain Project. Why the Global Rain Project?
Well, let me just step back. Ever since the beginning of civilization, mankind has diverted rivers on earth to wherever we wanted to practice agriculture. Now we look at the atmosphere. The oceanic, 90% of the rain, more than 90% of the rain falls on the ocean.
Sure.
It's only about less than 5% on earth. So the 90% that is above the oceans, these are fundamentally atmospheric rivers. And just the way we harvested rivers on earth, we should be harvesting now with new technology the rivers above the oceans and moving them to a target area. Now, why is it global? Global because climate is changing. We see the floods that are on, the droughts that are on. So weather is being modified by human activities and by natural phenomena. And today we have developed the technology, and I'm convinced that in 30 years we will be able to confront climate change with technology with which we can modify weather patterns. It's weather modification. Because climate change has two elements. It gets hotter temperature and precipitation changes. So moisture patterns change. Now imagine when we get rain, temperature goes down. So when you think of climate change, which is hotter areas, and that's the challenge we have in sub-Saharan Africa, that it will get hotter. Many areas that produce crops will not be viable. So it is a global phenomena which requires
That's right. They want to harvest the rivers of the sky, and they want to steer it onto targets. Well, we're seeing it with the storm Dorian, and they're only using ground-based radars. You don't even need the Hart facility. You don't even need the ionospheric heater. You know, the people that say it don't exist, yeah, it does. And we have all the evidence to prove it in a court of law. Let's go to court. Plane exhaust kills more people than plane crashes. Now you can find a lot of this stuff over here at Climate Viewer News. You also have the Environmental Modification Accountability Act, which will make people responsible, like the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Texas Licensing Bureau and all the other companies that are cloud seeding and all that stuff. Makes them responsible for the storms. Now you go on and read all this stuff. I'm not going to go through all this. We've got too much stuff to get into. Black carbon from aircraft exhaust is destroying the ozone and melting the poles. Now they've been wanting to melt the poles for over 100 years. They want to get to the resources. We've been watching the bunker fuels being deployed over there just big time here lately. I mean, they just quit deploying the bunker fuel here for the last 3-4 days. But other than that, there's been mass bunker fuel operations over off the Kamchatka Peninsula and off the Aleutian Island chain, then north of Hawaii. I mean, major bunker fuel emissions, which is way worse than the black carbon dust coming out of the planes. So, through airborne, black carbon is known to dissipate and settle down in a few months under the influence of rain and wind, is unlikely to travel up 4 kilometers. However, a group of scientists, including, oh, that's kind of like the article I just went over. So, yeah. Anyway, Climate Viewer News, check it out. Tons of information here. So I wanted to go look at the NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration on contrail education. Let's go get educated. Why is it important to study contrails? Let's see what they say. Clouds are the largest variable controlling Earth's atmospheric temperature and climate. Oh, I thought it was the grand solar minimum. Any change in global cloud cover may contribute to long-term changes in Earth's climate. See the roll of clouds from the S-Cool project. You know, it's not there. Likewise, any change in Earth's climate may have effects on natural resources. Contrails, especially persistent contrails, represent a human-caused increase in high thin clouds in the Earth's atmosphere and are likely to be affecting the climate. Likely they are. So what type of contrails is the most interesting to scientists? Well, that would be the long-lasting and sometimes extensive clouds that would not normally have formed in the atmosphere. Persistent contrails can last for hours to days and spread over thousands of square miles, becoming indistinguishable from natural occurring cirrus clouds. Scientists are concerned about contrails because predicted increases in air traffic could result in a continued increase in cloud cover. Knowing where and when these contrails form is key to determining their contribution to cirrus clouds and affect the energy balance. These short contrails are also of interest. You know, they used to have a little app that you could predict the contrails. I used to use it a long time ago, and they took it away because it didn't work. It wasn't going where the humidity was. It was because they were spraying us like bugs. So they took it off. You know, and here's how NASA, the lies of all lies. You know, they want to make you think it's just a small portion, but check this out. Did you ever wonder about those lines in the sky? Contrails or clouds form when water vapor condenses and freezes around small particles, aerosols that exist in aircraft exhaust. So if you got small particles, you mean like nanoparticulates, like aluminum and barium and strontium and black carbon dust and coal fly ash and, you know, the plastic fibers, the polymers. These slides explain how they occur. Clouds are the largest variable controlling Earth's atmospheric temperature. Right here, they're admitting it. They're creating the clouds, which is creating the climate change. It's creating the global warming. Any change in global cloud cover may contribute to long-term changes in Earth's climate. See, and then they just give you some stupid little graphs. You know, just try to make you look like a fool. Oh yeah, where's this little thing here? Where is that? It's like they start talking about putting an ice cube in a room. Okay, here's the experiment. The thought experiment. Yeah, let's put our brains to work. I mean, who's this for? Is this for like 6-year-olds or something? Imagine you're sitting in a room such as a classroom or a living room. Imagine that you pull one ice cube out of your freezer and set it in the saucer. If you let that ice cube sit until it melts, will it have any impact on the temperature or humidity of the air in the room? See, they're trying to play a head fake here. Well, we don't need to use NASA to see what's going on in the sky. And here's some more contrail science, contrail formation guides, you know, all kinds of stuff. All their models don't work though. That's why they took them down. Look, they even have a contrail identification chart and formation guide. Yeah, we just seen them spraying this shit into Dorian. We've seen the different colors of the sprays. We know it's a couple part mix. Here's the history of artificial clouds, how to geoengineer a planet with jet fuel. So on the Wikipedia article, they titled contrails as chemtrails, but no mention or link to the much lengthier environmental impact of aviation. You can search the term chemtrails. Do you know what you get? A picture of contrails. I mean, they call them everything. Chemtrails, contrails, persistent contrails, cirrus, aviation-induced cloudiness, aviation-induced cirrus cloudiness, jet-produced cloud cover, artificial cloud, global dimming. It's not a conspiracy, man. Controlling hurricanes through optimal preparations, initial simulation experience using variation analysis systems. I'm not going to go into this right now, so we'll say that for another day. So let me get back where I can show you this. So we've seen all the heavy spraying that's going on all around the storm, and they're spraying right where they want it to go. Remember, they sprayed 2 days ahead of this area, and it's hitting exactly where the spraying operations were. They're still seeding it all the way up till this morning, and they're seeding all the way up. You follow this track up. I wonder if I can expand this out. Let me see if I can get out a little farther, and then we'll go look and see where the chemtrails are. See if we can get this thing to load. Yeah, we're pretty much past proving it, but if you don't have the numbers, we're going to get nowhere. You know, a handful of people cannot do nothing. I mean, we've had handfuls of people out here already. It's going to take, like the Million Man March, it's going to take something big. Well, what's the deal here? Maybe if I turn that off, I guess we could just, let's just check this out, I guess. Let me turn on the enhancement. And let me go back here. Let's see if I can get this thing to straighten out here. Hey, thanks there, Doug. Thanks everybody out there in Super Chat. Wow, where's the storm? Where'd it go? It's gone. What in the world? Oh, I don't have nothing clicked. There we go. Damn, look at that eye wall now. Okay, so we have aerosols. I can see them right here. It's going all the way up the coast, right on up. We'll verify these on the GOES 16. Let's also take a quick look. Right here, and I showed you the footage from South Carolina, right at the South Carolina, North Carolina border. You can see that's like a smoke curtain being deployed. You can zoom in on this. You can start seeing the plane tracks, the big long straight line. Look at these guys right here. Here's what we just seen in South Carolina. Hopefully you guys can see that. So look at these aircraft trails, and you can tell, look at the dirtiness of these clouds. That's the black carbon dust. Now all you gotta do is add in the frequencies, and we're looking at the frequency clouds right now. These are not gravity wave clouds. We got to let that clear up a little bit. It's kind of blurry, probably really blurry for you guys. So yeah, man, here's the frequencies. That's part of the guidance. And you get the chemtrails up here. You get the heavy metal particulates up here. And then you could steer them with the NexRads. They don't even need the HARP. And then they have the high-powered laser weapons, satellites that can change the jet streams. That's what they're doing. So we just have tons of aerosols being deployed out ahead of it, feeding into it. Where's all the Sahara dust? How come it didn't affect this storm, but it's going to blow apart every other storm that was in this? You know, I looked all over the map for these ship tracks, and they haven't been out here all week. So I don't know if they're refueling, but I was looking over here by Europe, and look at this weird cloud formation. I was like, huh, that looks kind of suspect. Let me put on the 3.7 microns. There's some ship tracks. Look at the tic-tac-toe boards. The yellow straight lines kind of start at a little point, and then they billow out into big, swooping, nasty bunker fuel clouds. You know, France is looking pretty clear right now. Actually, the whole UK is all looking good. The Netherlands, they already been hit. I'm just going to take a quick glance over here. You know who never gets a chemtrail ever? I mean, they did one time this year, back in like January. Look, there's none right here. What do they have? They have white, puffy, natural clouds. These are the same place that doesn't get the 5G. Huh. Makes you wonder, major weather modification companies out here. Let's go take a quick look at Australia. They have cloud seeding operations. This is like the playground for the electromagnetic. You know, the David Miles research company is constantly doing experiments down here. Man, these things are all just lined up, man. That's just insane. Look at that. And when you look at the Sahara dust layer, you're just like, how could this even be going on? So I got this running pretty slow. Let me go ahead and make this full just to see if we have any other kind of aerosols being deployed. We're going to go check the Earth null. So we'll give that a second to load. Let's go ahead and bring up the... Oh yeah, I wanted to look at the mimic on this. Let's take a look at this. Let's see if they've... Let's try here first, and then we'll go up to the next one, because I didn't document this one yet. This is the day after the weird little beams were shooting down. But yeah, thanks everybody out there, all the channels out there sharing, helping us get the word out. Thanks to everybody that shares this information, bringing in new people. I mean, people need to know. We need so many activists out here to help stop this stuff. Hey, thanks there, Brad. You know, and then at the same time, we have other channels attacking our channel and other channels, just making a fool out of themselves. Now, we're not going to stoop to that level. But, yeah, they're just making fools of themselves. Yeah, we'll take a look at the NexRads, too. We'll try to squeeze that in tonight. It's, like, so hard to cover everything, man. It's just so much. Look at that. That's That's such a huge eye. And it's taking forever to load. Yeah, it helps, man. It helps getting the word out, man, because it's we're running out of time. You know, once the 5G is in, we may not even be able to think for ourselves anymore. There's going to be so much electromagnetic smog, so much microwave radiation. Then, you know, they're changing our DNA with the foods. Also the aerosols. Yeah, I know, man. I don't know what the heck, man. That's a stupid decision on his part. But yeah, look at that thing. It looks like it's just sitting there again. What is going on here? Why is it just sitting there? Oh, it's only like a 45-minute loop. Why is it only 45 minutes? It must not be fully loaded yet. You know, I tried to do the last 45 minutes of it and it wouldn't go. So, I mean, you can go all the way back and see when it formed. Like, let's just see if it'll load real quick. You can see when the storm was a natural storm, and then you can see when they took control of it. I mean, night and day difference. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's like so many lies to expose, so little time. But we're doing what we can. This is what I can do to help. I can spend a couple hours a night trying to inform the people, and people don't have to believe me, man. Research the papers that we're putting out. Research what we say. It's all out there. All the information's out there. All right, let me go ahead and get out of this one. Let's go ahead and turn this up a little bit. And let me see where we know all these are aerosols. You could tell the color difference in the aerosols and the real clouds. You have man-made clouds. Look at the spraying operation over Minnesota. We're going to have to zoom in on that and document that. You got a little bit of aerosols in the southern part of Utah. A little bit there in Nebraska and Kansas. Hey, thanks out there, Bamboo. Who else did I miss? Claire. Hey, thanks out there, Claire. Much love. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this one. All right, so it's look, there's an initial spray right at the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota. I might need to zoom in on here a little more just to pick that up a little better, because we need to document this, because this is weather modification. That's what it is. It's not water vapor. It's all the stuff I just showed you guys. It's the black carbon dust. It's the aluminum. It's the barium. Hopefully you guys can see that. What is that flash that popped in there? What is that right there? There's a little flash. So we had an initial, that was the first spray, and then here comes the mass spraying operation. Look at that. Super grids. You're not going to fly commercial planes that close together and grid the sky. I know that we see them. But if you can get a good enough camera, you're going to see a lot of these planes don't have any windows. You'll see their military planes, their drones. It's all ran by AI. That's what tells it to turn off and on. So yeah, you had the initial spray that actually, started right there at the border of Minnesota. Actually, just, about midway through Minnesota. So that was the first of the two-part mix. And you got the second part, and they start combining right here. So by tomorrow, we'll be able to see what it turned into. Yeah, and you know, we keep a few chat rules down in the description. I mean, we got to keep everything in order. If you guys, we try to keep on target, on topic. It's pretty simple to follow them rules, man. I mean, we like to play whack-a-troll. All right, so we got this pretty good. Let me go ahead and jump over to the oh, let's look at the mimic. I forgot to look at that. Then we'll jump into the earth null, and then we'll jump into oh, what am I trying to think here? Been a long week. I'll figure it out when we. Oh, we're gonna jump into the radars. Yeah, there's no way Dorian is normal. It's been affected by men. It's nothing about it was natural. The dust should have blew it apart. There shouldn't even have been a formation of a cyclone, because that's right where the dust was. And even the weathermen up until Tuesday morning was saying the same thing. It come out of nowhere. A huge chunk of the Sahara dust just like lifted up, like a whole section of it. And then wham, we have a cyclone. You know, and then, you know, their tracks were all wrong. You know, the thing went way more west today than it should have. That's where the space-based satellites come in, because they can affect the jet streams and the winds. They can heat up, you know, different things. And that's why we'll get into that part here in just a little bit here. Yeah, definitely the smart dust in the chemtrails. Get your Morgellons disease from them and everything else. So I wish I could look at chat more. I know there's probably some people coming over from the Stooges channel probably over here trying to start crap. I don't know. I'm not watching here. I have good mods to take care of the issues. So look at the atmospheric river. This is what that guy was talking about steering earlier in the show. This is the rivers of the sky. This thing should be just nice, flowing, steady, and even, with the little limbs coming down, doing little swirlies, but it's not, man. Look how they're stopping the moisture from coming over the west coast. They just stop it. They don't let it go across. Okay, thanks, sir. St. James, thanks. All right, so we have like 4 storms lined up in a row. And then a couple there. We got the typhoons. But like, when you look at this, and you look at this all in a line, almost on a grid, you know, do you think there could be the Ice Cat up here? Look, the Ice Cat's right up here. Wonder if that baby's online. It's shooting some kind of beam down, because them are all lined up perfectly in a straight line from the Ice Cat. It's 100 million times stronger than Hart, but I don't think it's built yet. You know, I'm going to have to dig into that. But yeah, it's just odd that them are all lined up. All right, we got this documented. Let's move on. Let's go ahead and go to the Earth null. And then let me get the radars going so we can take a look at them. You've seen all the dust. All the Sahara dust showing up on the Sahara dust analysis earlier. This thing shouldn't, it's not going to go any farther. Look at, they have Let me see. I hope them are, look, they have all that cranking. They're stopping it. They don't want it to come no farther inland. That's why all these are cranked up. Wow, they have all these going the same direction. They're all trying to stop that hurricane from going any farther into shore, but it looks like it's driving its way in, trying to. You know, one thing that I always forget to talk about too is the wind farms that can control the weather too. All right, so that's some. We got a couple we'll take a little deeper look at. Let's go ahead and look and see what's going on the earth. No. You know, we got a lot of people out here, so we're going to know what the true wind speeds really are. So right now, just off the coast, right there, 67 mile an hour. And we are at the surface. Let's go even closer to the coast, 61, 66, 73. So we got pretty much around 60, almost to 70 miles an hour surface winds. Let's go up 1,000. Here we got the 71 to 75, 78. So this is, so far all I'm seeing is category 1 winds. Let's go on up to 850. Oh man, here comes the dogs. So now we're getting into the 100 mile an hour winds at 850 HPA. That's roughly about 400 or 4,700 odd feet up in elevation. So maybe this is where the weather channels and all them get their information on the wind speeds, and then they can call it, you know, category 2 or 4 as it's grinding everything up. We'll go ahead and move that up. So it actually looks like it may pick up a little speed because it jumped pretty far, which that would be a good thing. Let's make sure we're back on now. Now what I want to look at real quick, we want to go up to the polar vortex winds. We want to see, wow, look at this thing. This thing is all out of whack. Let's go ahead and check the temperatures up here. So the stratospheric heating is still going on. They're still messing with the ionosphere. That's what all these blue colors are. Let me see if I can fast forward this to see if it's going to get worse or better. I can probably only go up a few days. So we get, oh, it's going to get worse. So we have some mass compression event going on in the southern hemisphere. Big time. We seen this when the polar vortex got purposely parked over the United States. Can I go up another day? Yep. So it's gonna, this is why the weather is so freaky down in the Antarctic right now. Make sure we're back on now. Look at the signatures of this hurricane in the temperatures. See the bands of the cooler. You know, according to this, it looks like the hurricane's halfway on the shore. Anyway, I just kind of weird there. So let's get back down to the surface. Let's check this 3-hour precipitation. Pretty bad. So what are we looking at here? Right on the coast. So we're looking at about 1.5 inches every 3 hours. Almost 2 inches every 3 hours out there. So let's take it up a day. So we're not in the oranges and the yellows. This is basically a rain bomb. Now it starts picking up where all the heavier aerosols are. You notice that? It picks up worse right where all the heavy spraying is because there's more particulates to stick to it. Let's check the energy. So all the energy's down here. There's a little bit of energy right in the center, but hardly anything. It's all down here in the Caribbeans. Check our pressures. Look at that, man. It looks like a big Wi-Fi signal. See, this high pressure has been pushed way up. That high pressure has been pushed way up. Let me back that up a day, see if that's where it come from. See, that high pressure was right there. That's what was keeping the system locked over. Part of the, that's one aspect, by controlling the pressures. That's how they do the rain. That's how they steer the atmospheric river. They actually take the high pressures and they'll bust off a little chunk of it and turn it into a low pressure, and then they can make it rain. So wow, that high pressure is right up there where they're deploying the bunker fuel. Getting close to Europe. All right, while we're here, let's go ahead and check the wave heights. Looks like a little Pac-Man or something. So we're looking at 31-foot waves. That's pretty good waves. They're off the coast. Got 32-foot waves out there. We'll see what these typhoons are doing. They got 34-foot waves. They're all about the same. Ooh, look at this over here. Where that compression event's going on, we're looking at almost 50-foot waves. 48.4. 46-foot waves. All right, let's check the sea surface temperatures. Wow, the water's way cooler now. Well, it's a little warm there, but you got some patches. So that's 86, that's pretty hot. 82, right on the coast, it's around 82 degrees. But see, a hurricane pulls up the cool water from churning. Look, this is the hot, super hot water here, man. This is like off the chart hot. That's why that next system's trying to form. You got a big patch of hot water out there. Let's check the anomalies. So yeah, man, it's really not in a super hot look. That's why the storm's going to strengthen though as it gets up here. The rain amounts, you got the chemtrails, you got the heat anomalies. All right, let me zoom in on the let's check out let's get in a little deeper on one of these things here. Let's check the watches and warnings. So we had a tornado in Boston. Actually, 3 tornado warnings over 3 hours ago. And let me click on one of these. Since when do we start getting tornadoes in Boston? Tornado warning issued for southwestern Windham County. Oh, in northern Connecticut. That's still weird, Connecticut. $half size hail, radar indicated. So wow, we've had 3 tornado warnings in Connecticut, northern Connecticut at that. So pretty crazy there. Okay, let's just kind of zoom in on one of these radars. Now we're gonna get into some see what we got going here. Yeah, the sun is so hot right now. That's because our magnetic shields are weak from the solar minimum. You know, we have to factor all that in. See, we don't just pick one thing. We don't just pick the grand solar minimum and then try to sell a bunch of food and supplies. You know, we're trying to put everything into perspective, and everything is always multifaceted. So look at that, riding the edge. So they turned the radar down. They want it to come in there. You know, it's just a nice, slow, steady buzz. They want it to rain. They want it to rain. It's when they crank these up. Is see how that pulses up, and it actually caused a few little microburst rains, but then it blew them apart. Watch when it cranks up. Unless them are some ground-based generators right there. So wow, look at it speed that up and just blow them away. Let's go up a little farther north. Alright, let's check this one out here. You know, they said the strongest winds was in a 10-mile radius from the eye wall, and then it went to 15 miles. I'm going to check that real quick. What are they right now? Has the storm grew? So Hurricane Dorian, it's grew another 30 miles. Now it's at 230 nautical miles. Look, the pressure's way up to 1012. The central pressure 958. Wind gusts 120 knots. Maximum winds 100 knots. Oh yeah, the maximum radius wind is 30 nautical miles. Gabriel, the maximum winds are at 40 nautical miles. Fernando, 90 nautical miles. Juliet, 15 nautical miles. That was the same as Dorian when it started. It's got 80 knot wind gust. Let me just see on the typhoons. Wow, they don't really have them. 115 knots max winds. Alright, so we got that. Okay. Man, look at that stuff right there. That's pretty crazy looking. Now they have that next rad on a nice low buzz. They want the rain to come in. Then they kind of turned it down, pulsed it up a little. Just kind of keeping it at a low buzz. Let's go on up a little farther. Let's go up to this one. Get on the edge. Yeah, we got a long ways to go. If you remember last year, we had, I think it was last year, might have been a couple of years ago, we had a hurricane, and then we had the earliest tropical cyclone ever that was like in January. It was crazy. That might have been a few years ago. I've been reporting on this stuff so long, man, I can't remember all that stuff. So I look at this radar return. It's really looking funky here. Kind of squished out. See, now this one here, they're pulsing it. Look, they're turning it up. They're stopping it. They don't want it to go no farther up. So they, look, they have it spread out. They have the next rad frequency spread in a wide area. And they crank it up, and look, it starts eating away. It starts killing off the moisture. Watch when they crank it up. So it's on a low pulse, or letting the rain come in, and all of a sudden, wham, let's turn it up, and look, it eats away the rain. Look at it eating it away. Perfect example of how the radars work. Let's go ahead and go on up a little farther. Yeah, this storm is so strange, man. It should have never existed in the first place. Now, if we could somehow get some, you know, I got to talk to this guy that built HARP and worked at HARP, the Billy Hayes guys. I got to get him on here because he can expand on, you know, like the space fence and what they could actually do with the ionospheric heater, and maybe help us pick out some of the pick out some of the signs of it that we could pick up on the radars or on some of these satellites. Wow, look at that. That's just, I don't even know what to think about that. Look at that. They're cranking it up. But this side, they like want it to rain. Look at the next ride was sucking the moisture into it. Man, that's just insane. Let me look at the wind, the base velocity on this. Yeah, it's not a hurricane, it's a manocane. That's what I'm gonna dub it. We're calling it the manocane. Oh, I can see the microwaves. Hold on, let me put this on where we can actually see the microwaves. Yeah, I want to talk to Elana Freeland too. She knows all about these space fits. I've talked to her a few times, but I need to get her on the show. I've had Billy Hayes on my show before, several years ago. I've had all them people on my show before, like when I was doing this before I got the cancer, which changed a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, this is my second channel too. My first channel got took down, so. Did I click the wrong layer? Oh yeah, talking about manocane. I seen there earlier on Twitter that like 16 bags of cocaine washed up on the Florida beaches. So you got a cocaine washing up all over the place. My first racer was called Kart Racer. They took that one down a long time ago, like 2012, 2014. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get Dutch on. He wants to come on. We have such a hard time hooking up together. Oh, they got a little beam coming out of there. I still can't find the layer I wanted. What the heck is going on? Yeah, you know how they got rid of my first channel? My internet service provider decided to go out of business. There's the microwaves, the purple. So they decided to go out of business. So they were deleting my email account, and then Google, I guess, wasn't going to honor the email address. So they sent me some tool to download all my videos. I had probably 600 videos on there, and they never come up with a tool to extract the videos. So it was a big lie, man. They let me download everything, but it was in a file that there was no program to open it up. So I just completely had to start over. So the purple rings, man, that represents the microwaves frequencies. You notice it's not on this chart anywhere. That's the next red pulsing the RF and the frequencies out, the microwaves. Look, you could even show it blowing it out there. Let me look at the echo top. Looks like a tornado right there. Yeah, so I'm just kind of documenting this. Look at our little freaky echo return in the middle. Remember that one day, man, it turned into a big old eyeball? I can't remember what storm they were engineering, but man, it turned into a huge eyeball in the middle. It was pretty crazy. That's normal right there, but whoa, that's pretty freaky how it's going in and out. That tells you right there that they are pulsing it off and on. Look at that. There's an eyeball. There's an eyeball in the hurricane. All right. So I think we're going to... Let's go ahead and call this a show, guys, man. I'm wore out, man. One more day, or 2 more days. What is today? Wednesday. We still got Thursday, Friday. Hey, thanks out there, Ira Beam. Yep, for sure. Anyway, guys, much love. Thanks for sharing this stuff out. Thanks for helping us there on the PayPals and the Super Chats and the PO stuff. It definitely helps keep us running. You know, we're going against the mainstream, trying to keep up with them, man. This stuff is not cheap running all this stuff, believe me. I'm a regular guy doing a regular job, so it barely gets us by, but we're doing good. As long as you guys are helping us out, we're doing good, so we'll keep it going. Anyway, guys, much love out there. Be safe, no fear. Pray for all the people that were affected by this man-made storm, this man-altered storm. Anyway, they didn't deserve the crap that they got. So anyway, guys, much love. We're gonna play a song called Rise. I'll come join you in chat. I will go over to the D Live and give away the treasure chest, and then I'm gonna upload a HD version of this video over to Brighton. And all my videos I've been posting over on Brighton in HD, so they're not nothing. I mean, it's a straight video. That's like the only place I can really upload it, and it works right. Anyway, guys, much love out there. No fear. Eyes to the skies. See through the lies. And don't take no shit from these other channels. Screw them, man. Anyway, guys, much love. Here we go. Crank it up.